Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss NBA Tuesday. Bunch of games on the board. I'm going to go through 4 of them. As far as Monday night, can't tell you how we did yet because I'm recording this a lot earlier than usual. I'm also getting an MLB video out tonight, and I think we're doing a live stream nightcap tonight. So got a lot on my plate, so I figured I'd get the NBA video done earlier. Pistons looks good. Looks like I'm going to win my first bet. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to go through 4 games here for Tuesday. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
First up, we got the New York Knicks on the road down in Miami. Looks like the Heat are laying 2.5 points at home. The total sitting at 206.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 1-point Miami win. Final score 108-107 Heat. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with New York. Still no Julius Randle. I don't even think there's a timetable for his return yet. OG Anunoby is also still out. Mitchell Robinson came back. He played in a couple games. Didn't play a ton of minutes. He's listed as questionable, so we're not sure if we're going to have Mitchell Robinson in this one. Other than that, Knicks should be good to go. On the Miami side, we got a lot of names here, but most of them listed as probable. Tyler Hero is still out, so still no Hero. Duncan Robinson looks like he's going to be back from injury. He missed a few games. He's listed as probable. Terry Rozier on the report, he's listed as probable, and Caleb Martin is on the report listed as probable as well. Betting trends on the Miami side, Heat are just 5-9-1 against the spread since March 1st, just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 home games. Heat have not been covering the number recently. On the New York side, Knicks are 9-5 against the spread since March 1st, 5-3 against the spread in their last 8 on the road, so a lot better looking trends on this side. This particular head-to-head matchup, the Knicks are actually 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 trips down to Miami. So the Knicks have done pretty well down here. Also, we should mention, Knicks games have been going over the total. 6-1 to the over in the last 7 for the Knicks. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers from the last 10 games. Both these teams with really nice looking numbers here. Net efficiency in the last 10, 3rd for the Knicks, 8th for the Heat. Both playing top 5 defense, 1st and 4th in the NBA in the last 10 games. Knicks have the significant edge on the offensive side, though. That being said, neither of these teams have played a tough schedule. In the last 10 games, strength of schedule is 26th and 28th. So normally that would indicate that both these teams might be slightly overvalued. Also want to point out the slow pace here. In the last 10 games, 27th and 24th. So 2 of the slowest teams in the NBA. Knicks on the season, 7-3 against the spread against the bottom 5 teams in pace. So the slow pace favors the Knicks, but Miami is an elite defense, and the Knicks are just 5-9-1 against the spread against top 5 defenses. So a positive trend and a negative trend there for the Knicks. Let's take a look at the matchup for the Knicks offensively, and they may be in for a tough one here. The Heat in the last 10 games, they're top 5 in defensive rebounding rate, top 5 in forced turnover rate, top 5 in defensive free throw rate. Now, you got to keep in mind strength of schedule. They're racking up these elite defensive numbers against a really weak schedule, but the Knicks haven't been playing anybody either. So as a whole on this side of the court, I mean, it should be tough sledding for New York as far as scoring points in this one. On the other side of the court, we got the Miami Heat offense. Huge advantage New York Knicks here. 8th to 30th in rebounding. So I don't expect Miami to see many second chance opportunities here. In EFG, 3rd to 22nd in favor of New York. So yeah, as much as I like the matchup for the Heat defense, definitely love the matchup for the Knicks defense as well. And I want you to look back at these rebounding numbers here. 8th to 30th. The reason those are significant, New York on the season, 9-5-1 against the spread against the bottom 5 offenses in rebounding rate. So against teams that are not active on the offensive glass, New York's got a really nice hit rate. And I got to ask, where does Miami plan on scoring points here? Look at the interior numbers. 48% of the Miami shot attempts in the last 10 games have come from 12 feet or inside. Knicks have elite numbers down there. And keep in mind, Mitchell Robinson may be back on the floor. He's listed as questionable. But even if he isn't playing, the Knicks have been playing elite defense down there. Scoring down low may be a problem for Miami in this one. And 3-point shooting, yeah, Miami does get Duncan Robinson back from injury. He missed a few games, so we should see a boost from Miami as far as outside shooting goes. But Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, DiVincenzo, it's really tough to hit outside shots on the Knicks right now. I don't know where the points are coming from Miami, which is kind of right on par with how I feel about this entire game. Points are going to be tough to come by on both sides. I really want to play the under here. Only problem is, like I mentioned earlier, Knicks 6-1 to the over in their last 7 games. But I was looking at their recent schedule, and I think part of that might be the Knicks have been hanging these huge numbers on some really bad defenses like the Raptors and Pistons. On the road to Miami should be a completely different beast. So I'm going to take the under, 206.5. If I had to pick the side, I'd probably lean Miami, but I'm just going to stick with the under in this one. Next game, Houston on the road in Minnesota. T-Wolves laying 8 points at home, total sitting at 217. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, this is deadlocked. Final score, 110, 110. 110 apiece here. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Houston. Still no Şengün. Houston is completely good to go with the exception of Şengün, who's still out. On the Minnesota side, still no Karl Anthony Towns, so Towns is going to miss another one. Other than that, T-Wolves should be at full strength, though. Betting trends on the Houston side, 13-3 against the spread in their last 16, 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 on the road, so nice looking trends there for the Rockets. On the Minnesota side, they are 8-7 against the spread since March 1st, just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 at home, though. So the T-Wolves have not been covering at home in Minnesota. They have definitely owned the Rockets, though. Minnesota 9-3 against the spread in their last 12 meetings against Houston, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games against Houston. So going on the road to Minnesota has been a tough task for the Rockets in the past. Before we get into this one, I want to point out that Minnesota is on the first leg of a back-to-back, but they've got the Toronto Raptors on deck. This is a much more important game, so I don't think we should factor that into our handicap at all. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. Last 10 games, Houston Rockets 4th in efficiency, Minnesota back at 7th. But look at strength of schedule. Minnesota 7th, strongest schedule in the last 10 games. Houston all the way back in 30th. They played the easiest schedule in the NBA analytically in the last 10. So efficiency-wise in the last 10, yeah, these two teams are pretty close. But Minnesota's doing it against a much stronger schedule. I also want to point out the pace here. Rockets have been running a really fast pace recently. I think they're 7th in the last 10 games. Reason that could be significant, Minnesota's played much better against slower paced teams. On the season, the T-Wolves 3-8 against the spread against the top 5 in pace, 10-3 against the spread against the bottom 5 in pace. So against teams that run faster paces, Minnesota's had some problems. Let's take a look at the matchup for Houston offensively. And on paper, the Rockets should get plenty of second chance opportunities here on the offensive glass. They also should get plenty of trips to the free throw line. That being said, we have to keep in mind strength of schedule. These are numbers from the last 10 games, and Houston's been racking up these numbers against some really bad teams. On the road in Minnesota, I don't know if we can count on Houston being active on the offensive glass and getting to the free throw line. To me, the biggest question on this side of the court is whether or not the Rockets are going to be able to get their shots off. Because as we know, a huge part of this Rockets win streak has been the fact that all of a sudden they're one of the hottest three-point shooting teams in the NBA. 35% of the Houston Rockets shot attempts in the last 10 games have come from above the break. Those are Boston Celtics numbers. But look at the Minnesota defensive numbers against that shot. 5th in frequency. The T-Wolves put a ton of pressure on the perimeter, take that shot away, and force you inside. They want you to come inside and take shots on Gobert and Towns. Well, not Towns, he's hurt. But they want you to come inside and take contested layups. So are the Rockets going to be able to get their three-point shots off or not? On the other side of the court, we got the T-Wolves offense. And judging by these numbers in the last 10 games, matchup is pretty close to dead even on this side. But keep in mind, this is the last 10 games, and we have to incorporate strength of schedule. So the Rockets have been racking up a lot of nice-looking defensive numbers against some really bad teams. And another angle I like for Minnesota's offense here, the Rockets are doing a lot of things well right now. Protecting the interior is not one of them. They've been a great interior defense for this whole season, but since Şengün went down, they've fallen off in that department. In the last 10 games against the easiest schedule in the NBA, Houston just 20th in defensive efficiency at the rim, 21st in the paint. This is a Minnesota team that thrives on scoring on the interior. So overall, this is just way too good of a matchup for Minnesota on both sides of the court for me not to take them. You add on the fact that this T-Wolves team just got caught napping at home as heavy favorites. I expect them to come out with a lot of effort in this one. So I'm going to lay it. Give me Minnesota -8 next game. Clippers on the road in Sacramento. We got the Kings catching a 1.5 at home, total sitting at 221.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 4-point Kings win. Final score 114-110 Sacramento. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Clippers. Nobody on the report for the Clips as of right now. On the Sacramento side, Malik Monk. Monk's going to miss another game. He just missed the game the other night, too. Who was that against? Against the Wizards, I think it was. Oh, the Jazz. He just missed the game against the Jazz the other night, so Monk's going to miss another one. Betting trends on the Clippers side look terrible here. Just 4-11 against the spread in their last 15, 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 on the road. But trends don't look great for the Kings either. 8-8 against the spread since March 1st, but just 4-9 against the spread at home since the All-Star break. So the Kings really struggling to cover at home. Kings have been trending heavily towards the under. 2-7 to the under in their last 9, but Clips have been all overs. Clippers are 6-1 to the over in their last 7, so contradicting trends there on the total. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. Kings 12th in efficiency, Clippers back at 19th, and strength of schedule 21st to 25th Kings. I mean, those numbers are pretty close. Kings have been playing slightly better basketball than the Clippers. Clips have been playing at an extremely slow pace, 29th in the last 10 games. They're third in offensive rating, though. So they've been scoring efficiently. They're just not pushing the pace at all. And if we take a closer look at the matchup for the Clips offense, this might be a tough one here. Kings have truly been playing excellent defense. I mean, a little worried about the free throw rate, though. 2nd to 27th. So on paper, the Clippers should get plenty of trips to the free throw line in this one. And that's been a favorable matchup for the Clippers this season. On the year, the Clips are 8-5 against the spread against the bottom 5 defenses in free throw rate. So against defenses that foul a lot, send guys to the line a lot, Clippers 8-5 against the number. I do have some good news for the Kings defense, though. They've done a really good job defending the mid-range shot. And that's been a huge part of the Clippers offense. They're 2nd and 4th in efficiency from the 2 mid-range zones. It accounts for 35% of the Clippers shot attempts in the last 10 games. Kings in those 2 zones, 2nd and 3rd. So I like that matchup for the Kings defense. The weak spot of this Sacramento defense has been back on the 3-point line. Clippers can shoot the 3 ball. It's not really who they are as an offense. Just 21st and 17th in frequency from the 2 3-point zones. They're hitting them at a high clip, but they don't take a ton of them. So the Clips should get to the free throw line in this one, and they should definitely get open looks from 3. But overall, I don't hate this matchup for the Kings defense. On the other side of the court, we got the Sacramento offense, and this is where we start to find some value on the Kings. Clippers defense has just been awful. One of the worst defenses in the NBA recently. Kings have the huge edge on the glass on this side, 5th to 28th. Should be plenty of second chance opportunities here for Sacramento. And some more good news for the Kings offense. The strength of this Clippers defense has actually been at the rim recently. In the last 10 games, they're 8th in efficiency at the basket. Kings haven't been attacking the rim much. Sacramento's been taking a lot of jump shots. Decent amount of 3-point shooting. Look at the Clippers defense against the 3 ball in the last 10 games. 30th above the break, 29th against the corner 3. These are Utah Jazz defensive numbers here. So I expect Sacramento to get plenty of looks from outside. The reason that I passed on the Kings and took the under instead. Oh, I'm on the under. Didn't even say that. I got the under at 223. But I wanted to bet the Kings. A little worried about Malik Monk being out. The Clippers, we could say a lot about their defense, but their offense has been really efficient, and I'm a little worried about the Kings missing their 6th man there. So that being said, the Kings did score 127 points without him. Yeah, it was against the Jazz, but we were just looking at the Clippers defensive numbers. They look just like the Jazz defensive numbers. So I want to bet the Kings, and maybe I still will jump in on Sacramento, but I got the under at 223, and it looks like it already dropped 1.5 points. So I already got a little bit of CLV. I'm on the under in this one. Next game. Dallas on the road in Golden State. Good game here. Got the Warriors laying 1 point at home. Total sitting at 234.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. And according to the model, we should see a 2-point Dallas win. Final score 113-111 Mavs. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Dallas. Josh Green has been ruled out. He's going to miss another one. Derek Lively also on the report. He's listed as questionable. Other than that, Dallas should be at full strength, though. On the Golden State side, looks like Klay Thompson's on the report. He's listed as probable, though. Kuminga on the report. He's listed as questionable. And Dario Saric has been ruled out for this game. Betting trends for Golden State. Dubs are 8-8 against the spread since March 1st. Just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games at home, though. Golden State really hasn't been that great at home this year. On the Dallas side, these are some excellent looking trends. As we know, Dallas has been red hot. 11-4 against the spread since March 1st. 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 on the road. Also, Dallas has been trending heavily towards unders recently. 6-1 to the under in the last 7 Mavs games. And another thing, Dallas has been a hot ticket to hold when they play Golden State. Mavs are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 meetings against the Warriors. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers here. As you can see, Dallas has been one of the best teams in the NBA recently. These are numbers from the last 10 games. In overall efficiency, we're looking at 2nd to 10th in favor of Dallas. And look at the strength of schedule numbers, 9th to 17th. So Dallas has been the second best team in the NBA in overall efficiency against the 9th strongest schedule. So Dallas is playing elite basketball against a really strong schedule. Let's take a look at the matchup for Golden State's offense, and you can see how well Dallas is playing on the defensive side of the ball. One of the best defenses in the NBA recently. Golden State does have the rebounding edge, 2nd to 11th, but check this out. On the season, the Dallas Mavericks are 12-1 against the spread against the top 5 offenses in rebounding. So Golden State has the rebounding edge, and on paper, they should get second chance opportunities, but Dallas has been excellent in those kind of matchups this year. Shot zones for the Warriors offense look pretty great. Golden State's been really well balanced. They're scoring on the interior. They're shooting the 3 ball. Here are the numbers on the interior here. I gotta ask though, where are we expecting these points to come from? Because Dallas has been elite everywhere. Here are the numbers on the interior. Dallas top 5 at the basket in the last 10 games, and that's against the 9th strongest schedule. Top 5 in the paint. And now let's pull up the 3-point shooting numbers. Obviously, we know the above the break 3 is a huge shot zone for Steph. Look at Dallas defensive numbers out there. Top 5, top 10 across the board. Warriors offense, even though they're playing pretty well, I don't know if I really like this matchup for him against this Dallas defense. And then we flip it around and look at the matchup for Dallas offensively. I don't know how we don't give the edge to Dallas on this side as well. I mean, they have the edge pretty much across the board here. This is in the last 10 games. We already pointed out, Dallas has even played the stronger schedule in that span. But I do have one really strong angle for Golden State. If you're looking to bet the Warriors, I have something for you here, and I like it. One thing Golden State has done well this year, and this is all year, when Golden State's struggling, when they're winning, they've always done this well. They don't let their opponents get to the basket to take those shots. Just 25% of the Warriors' opponents' shot attempts in the last 10 games have come at the rim. 4th in the NBA, and it's been like that all year. Golden State doesn't let you get inside. That's been a huge part of the Mavs offense recently. They're attacking the rim at a high rate, and they're hitting at a very efficient rate. So if Golden State is able to keep Dallas from getting to the basket, which they've done really well this year, then Dallas offense might be thrown off a bit here. But the question is that enough to bet Golden State here despite what we've seen from Dallas recently? And in my opinion, it isn't. I kind of don't understand the line here. Dallas should probably be laying. They're probably the hottest team in the NBA right now. They've been great on the road. Golden State's been really struggling at home. I'm a little bit worried about the line. Actually, it's actually a little bit sketchy to me, but I'm on Dallas here. I'll probably take them on the money line. I haven't bet it yet, but it'll be Dallas or pass for me here. Live shows tomorrow. We got the NBA at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go through every single game. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern time, we got the MLB show. So it'll be back-to-back. NBA at 3, MLB at 4. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. If you want my top bets for all sports parlays of the day, or you'd like to join our Discord, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information is right there on our homepage. Let's have ourselves a nice Tuesday. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, I had a winning Monday night. We'll see. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.